Welcome to Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and on today's video, we're going to be web page hacking a puzzle or quiz that somebody gave me to do. Enjoy. All right, so I got a hold of one of these. So my friend applied for a position. I guess he was asked to hack or crack one of these little puzzles that the employers send you to see, like a skills test, and then you have to write a report and all that. And so he sent me this, and he was like, see if you can crack this. And so what I did was I went through and I solved this puzzle. And I mean, you're supposed to do it in like 30 to 45 minutes. And it took me about 45 minutes to get as far as I did. And then after that, I went a little further and solved a little bit more and all that. But um, this is like what I guess companies are doing now, right? So if you apply for a pen tester position or hacking position or something like that, some of these companies will, if they're to weed out people, they'll send you these little tests and stuff, right? And I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna solve it, right? And but um I'm gonna make it look easy or whatever, but it really wasn't. It took me about 45 minutes to get everywhere, and I'm gonna go through it, my steps on what my thoughts were and how I came to the conclusions. And so I mean, a lot went into it, right? Because I don't really know too much about HTML and all that. I do, and I took a couple classes, and I can read code, but I can read more like C sharp, C, and all that, and programming that, and Java and all that. But so I can read the code, right? Okay, so the first thing I did was I read this. So let's just start. So the notorious pirate Captain Platinumbeard ravaged the high seas for decades. After every plunder, he stashed his booty in a hidden alcove on a tropical isle. Confined to his deathbed after falling ill to scurvy, he spent his last living hours coding a cryptic map in the hope a 1337 adventurer would one day come and find the treasure. Can you solve the mystery of Captain Platinumbeard and find the hidden riches? So, it said, remember, X marks the spot. So I'm clicking on X, and it gives me I clicked on it, right? And it gives me whatever this is, right? So I copy this, and I'm like, okay, that looks like an MD5 hash or something, right? Or I don't know what it could be, right? So I go into my tools, and I'm like MD5. So I'm gonna go right here to this one, and this is basically decrypt hashes. So I paste it here, and I'm gonna show all this stuff. And look, it found a base 64 encoded string. So I come over here, copy that, come over here, and I'm just doing the fast version, right? And this is just me tinkering around. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just tinkering around, seeing what I can find. So I decode base 64 format, and I have another, tool here, base 64. I'm gonna decode here, and then look, it gives me money, right? 14,304 or whatever that is, or it gives me something. And I'm like, oh, there's this treasure right there, $14,000. You know, because I don't know. I'm just going through the motions. So I'm thinking it can't be that easy. That doesn't make any sense. Like, is there a value? So I click on it again, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm moving it, and I'm like, oh no, what the heck does this mean? Like, X marks the spot. So I'm moving this, and I'm going, okay. Do they want me? Is it a? Is it? It's gonna be on this screen somewhere. The treasure. I'm like, okay, so that makes sense. It's gonna be somewhere on this screen. But I mean, look at. I mean, there's so much. You can literally go for one, let go, look, and something has to happen. This is what I've noticed about these puzzles. You're gonna get a message. You're gonna get, something has to happen, right? So you can't just go like this, right, and then hope that something happens, right? Or congratulations or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so this thing moves. Let's set it over here, and I'm like, all right, let's go to the next clue, right? So I'm like, what is this 133 adventure? 133. What is this? So I come in here and I'm like, what does this mean? It says, what does 1337 mean? In the simplest terms, 137 is a dated piece of internet slang that means elite. So that's probably not a clue. It's just slang. So yeah, so that was cool. A cryptic map, and hope that a elite adventurer can one day, you know. I'm not a full blown computer programmer, so I've never heard of that, right? Anyways, it's fine. I don't even know where that comes from actually. So then we come over here, and I'm like, why is this moving? This is still stupid, right? Blew out my little, decrypt theories, so I'm gonna leave those up though. But I never used them again. So then what I did next is I was like, all right, now I'm gonna go into the web. So I'm gonna go come here and inspect it. Now I'm not gonna show the average Joe what all this is and what this means. If you're into programming or hacking or anything, you know what I just did. I went to web, right clicked web, and inspect. So I right clicked on the screen, went to inspect down here on the bottom, and it pulls up your code. And so this is where I actually asked my friend. I said, is there any instructions on any of this other than this? Right? Because this is not really telling me too much. And he sent me over I guess, the instructions on whatever, what he was supposed to do, kinda. So I read whatever, and then I came up with it said to look at the source code, right? I guess that was one clue. So when you open this up, it's gonna open up your page. I went straight to source, right? And it said crack the source code in parentheses is the code, I guess, the clue they gave him, right? So here's Crack Me Platinum. So I just went to this one, right? This is going to be the source code here. I didn't go to these ones because this is just analytics. I don't know what that is. So I was sure that it was on that one because it says Crack Me. And here's the source code, right? So I'm going to go down a little bit. And like I said, I already did this. So what the next thing I did is I read this, right? You're gonna want to read what this does. First of all, you want to see how big it is. I mean, if it's huge, then man, you're in trouble. But I mean, you can still just run the code, right, and see where it starts too. But I started reading this, and I was like, all right, look, here's the head, here's this. This is all just positioning. Here's your title. It literally says title. Can you crack me? Here's some stuff that I really don't care about, because all I'm trying to do is find where that X goes, right? is what I'm thinking in my mind. I was like, I need to find that X button code where I'm moving it and see like what the conditions are for that X. Where do I put it? Like if I so I need to find the conditions in the code that are related to that X button, this one right here, and then find out what it does, right? And then I can manipulate it. And that's it. It's done. So I'm reading through this, I'm looking through this, and I'm like, okay, here's some numbers right here. Let runes or runs. I don't even know what that's runes or runs. I don't know what that is, but it's runes to me. I don't know what that is. Like I said, I'm not a big JavaScript HTML guy, but that could be any variable, right? I don't know. So then I'm looking. I mean, it might be standard. I don't know, for something, right? So I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start debugging through stuff. So when I came across this one, it says set interval. I was reading and I was like, okay, here's an if statement. You want to look for if statements. You want to look for, stuff like that, because that's your if statements are going to be like what does the magic, right? Where your brain is at, right? Because if this, then that, right? So I find this if statement right here. The set interval method. It says, basically it's like if runes.length is greater than 2 and function targ, whatever that is, right? Then it goes into here, and then I guess it goes through a for loop, and it starts calculating or adding whatever this for loop does. Then it goes to this return tt equals 469. So, and then this right here. So here's some more encryption, right? This is obviously encryption. Now this is so you can't figure out easily that here's where you got to go. So this would say probably, congratulations, you have solved the puzzle, right? This would probably be. But if it said that just right off the bat, then somebody could hack this easier and be like, oh, look, here's your congratulations statement. Let's look at the code previous to it, and there you go. So that, it would be way easier. But this is obviously encrypted, right? And so I ran this through the encryption, and sure enough, one of these says alert, whatever, or the other one says congratulate, and it's in those base 64, and I ran up through there too. So I was like, okay, I'm on the right path here. We're trying to get to this congratulations statement to see. I want to know if that this is basically what we're looking at to find the treasure. We just wanted to say congratulate. We wanted to do something, right? So I was like, so in reality, when I move this X somewhere, it's gonna run, see if it is in the right spot, and then it's gonna run through this and check conditions and tell me congratulations, you found my treasure, right? So that's what I was trying to do. If you look over here, look, you have a clue, Lambert clue here. It literally says clue, Lambert. Now, I wasted a lot of time on all this, right? Looking up what Lambert meant, right? So I'm like, what does Lambert mean? What does Lambert mean in HTML? And it took me like at least 10 minutes. I finally figured out that this is the ACS2 or whatever you call it, language, right? For numbers. Okay, so if you add these up, they add up to let's debug this first. Then I'll tell you how I actually came to that conclusion, because I came to that conclusion by looking at this number first. So then I'm running, right? So then I set my breakpoints. I set my breakpoints right there. You know how to do that. Then I step in here and I go through here. So now I'm at this if statement, right? And it's not going to go through because it doesn't meet the requirements. So it's just going to keep skipping, right? You know about that if you're debugging stuff. So what we're going to do, I went to this console, right? So you want to go to your console. And your console should be down here already. So here's my console, in my if statement, and the first thing I want to do is I want to look and see what my length is, what my runes are, or whatever the heck that is. So right, I'm at 0. I don't have no runes. It has to be a bit greater than 2, right? So let's go ahead and change that real quick. So runes, type in runes, I'm gonna press return, and then I'm gonna come over here. And I'm going to double click and I'm going to put 3 because it's got to be greater than 2. So I'm going to put 3. Now I'm going to look at runes. Look, it says 3 now. So now I got 3. So now I meet this condition. But now I got to meet this targ condition, right? But this is just saying function targ. Okay, so first I was going to try to rewrite all this, but to delete it, just delete it all together, but that's another story. But so now I step through, so now I'm in, right? I'm in this for loop now, and I'm running through this for loop. You know, here's my targ, right? Your targ. So that targ was Lambert, and I'm like, what in the hell? Do I have to write Lambert in here, or what is this? You know, I don't understand what that Lambert is and why that's a clue. But you know, I keep stepping because I'm trying to figure out what this is doing, right? And what it's doing is it's adding up something. Targ length, targ plus plus, if you know, TT. So it's adding to TT to this. So it's starting at 0. It's running through here. If I is less than 0, which it is, your targ length, you know, use basic C programming, right? What it looks like. Your I plus plus is going to add. It's going to add 1, right? Anyways, so now I'm at this return, and I hover over TT, and it says it's 519, and I'm like, why is that 519? How is that doing that? Okay, so then I started researching. That's when I found out that it's adding up like an ASCII, I don't know what it is, value, computer value, right? Which makes sense. It's taking the Lambert string. It's just security, I think. It's taking the Lambert string, and it's so L is probably like 56. So I actually Googled that, and it added up to 519. So if you add these up, add up to 519. So I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path. So I was like, so some way it's not wanting you to get in here, and my reasoning is it doesn't want you to make this true until it gets 469. So I spent another 10 minutes. It's already almost 40 minutes in now, trying to figure out what word I can change this up here to, right? Because I can change the targ, I think, right? I was thinking, okay, I can change it to match that 469, and couldn't figure it out. I mean, it's like really hard. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. I was like, man, I can't figure this out. But that would have solved it right there, right? That would have just, I could change that Lambert clue to something else, which then would meet this requirement. This number would be 469 naturally. But then I was like, why? Who gives a care? I'm just going to change this number. Right? So then you come over here. I mean, that's the long way. You know, the faster way, you could just change that number. So TT equals, you know, like I said, I've already done it 469, right? And then return. So now it made it 469. So now we'll come and hover over here. Now that number is 469. Now it meets the requirement. So I wasted 10 minutes, but I learned a lot. And I just keep pressing through this, and look, voila! Congratulations, OH. I don't know what 13771. You have found my treasure. So I solved it, right? At least, hacking it, or just hacking that website, running through the code. And it's as easy as that. What you're doing is you're reading the code, okay, first and foremost. Your source code. If you can get a hold of the source code, and you're debugging through it, and you're changing values, and you're messing with it. You got to know how to read code, right? That's just common sense. But the better you get at reading the code or whatever, the more creative ideas you'll have on what to do. So I found this treasure, right? But I don't know if that is going to move it to where it's at, because it didn't move. My X didn't move, right? So yeah, so that's it, right? So then if you press play, and if I go over here and I take all the breakpoints away and I just run it, it doesn't move that X at all, right? Oh wait. And so it's running through, and it's not meeting nothing, right? So let's pause it. So I want to see, after you do that, I want to know where the X is, right? So that's it. That's as far as I got in 45 minutes. So I solved it in 45 minutes, but I didn't see this X move to where I want. It says X marks the spot. I want to know where his treasure is physically on here, right? I want this X to move, because I don't know if that X would move. I don't know if it will move. I don't know, because I have to look at the code more. But see, I didn't look at the code for that long, because I wanted to actually try to do that 45 minutes. I was trying to do it in 30, but I mean, I'm not as smart as everybody else. Other people probably did it real quick. So here's the document location hash. Now I can go here and then see if take these breaks off and see if and it's never going to hit that, because now I got to change all those values again, which is fine. So it's back to, oh no, it's still the same, 469, and this is okay. So we can change that to we can change that to 3 real quick. I got a couple minutes here. Oh, let me see. Change that to 3 again. Step to that, and let's see if it goes to this function. I'm gonna have to do it again, all over again. So I'm gonna okay. Let's change that to TT 69. Now we'll see if it goes. There's my treasure. See if it goes in the function stage. No, it just goes back to clear. And it starts lower. It's an interval. Okay. So I want to find. So this is all just extra stuff I'm doing now. So this is how I would do it. I would run through here and I would try to find out how it's getting those coordinates to the X, but I don't know. For now, that's how I would write this up. I mean, if my friend did it another way. So he actually found the word for, because we collaborated on this together. He actually found the word for this to change, and what he did was he came in here and he changed this word. Ripley. Ripley. Okay, so he changed that to Ripley. Then he ran see, now it's 469. So if you change that clue to Ripley, you don't have to change the TT, because then that word adds up to 469. So, but the rune length is still 0. So, I mean, I'm sure he did this. He changed it. Oh, okay, wait. You can come over here and change these runes here, and it stays that, I think. I don't know, instead of the console. So now he changed. He figured out the word. You know, he's pretty smart. I don't know how the hell he did that. Then he changed over here all these values on the right. I don't think he used the console, which it doesn't matter. Change the runes, change the name, and then it meant TT meant this, right? And then he got that. And then I think that changed it where the X was. See, now the X is right there. So, because I had this moved up here, that's your, right? So if I move that back up there and I do it again, Ripley, runes, 3. Nah, it didn't move. Didn't move that tab. See, so I don't know. I'm thinking that it's down here somewhere. Anyways, that's how you can hack these websites. You gotta mess with them, play with them. You know, use your brain a little bit. Think about the, you know, your clues, and but don't go down the rabbit hole, because I went down the rabbit hole with this number for a minute. You don't go too crazy, but usually these little, what do you call these little tests or whatever, these little riddles and stuff, read the source code. Don't, you know, you can pay attention to all this writing and stuff, X marks the spot, you know, but go straight to the source code and read how this is working. Find an if statement, find a force loop, find anything, that a while loop, anything you can find. See if stuff is encrypted. Like this obviously is encrypted. Pipe that in a decryption thing. See if it makes sense. You know, stuff like that. Look at the code. See if first thing is, if they don't encrypt it and it says congratulations, then you know that's where you got to start looking. I've seen a lot of websites that are tests, they won't encrypt it. They'll just say like congratulations, you know. I'm like, oh well, this is obviously the code I have to start manipulating. And then just keep looking, and you know, and all this stuff, and figure it out, right? It's something to do with this I Ching too. So this is saying get element GPS, and I'm assuming that's somewhere on your page, right? Yeah, enter HTML. So document get element ID, right? Canary. So it says canary there. So it's gonna string to replace. So it's trying to, if Y include code char, you know. So this is the number of links to rooms. Okay, so this is probably Ripley rooms. Let's see if it gets to that statement now. After, yeah, I don't know, but this was fun. So this type of stuff is fun to do. It's little puzzles, and I don't know if I did it right though. I I would say you need to have that X somewhere too. Other but in reality, I broke this. I changed the values, or I figured out the code, just simple, and I was able to get to the congratulations, right? You found my treasure, so if so I had another friend that sent me another one. It was called can you hack it or something. And oh, see, here's Canary right here. Look, Canary marks the spot. Okay, so, and then your GPS location. So that Canary was right here, right? Canary. Did we see it right here? Get element C plus, and there's a C, and the coordinates. So it works off of coordinates, right? Yeah, hashtag. Okay, so Canary position absolute. So, if I want to spend more time, I can. It's not that much of a code, so I can go through here and figure out how this X is working and how that Canary is um, with it. But in reality, I don't care. I got my congratulations button. Now, what happens is sometimes is so my friend sent me another one of these, and it had a bunch of tests and skills on it. And what I did was I did something like this. I hacked the functions, and at the top it had here a button and a score accumulator and a submit button, and they were all tied in the stuff. And then at the end, when you press submit, it said congratulations. Same thing as this, congratulations, and it redirected you to the human resources or whatever to apply for the job, and then or something like that. Or it said congratulations, enter in your email, and then you'd enter in your email, and then it said it said congratulations, enter your email, and you entered your email, and then once you entered and press return, it said thank you. HR will be getting a hold of you for passing this. Now I had like 50 points to hack something, 100 points to hack this, 500 points for this, and you needed 520 points. So what I did was I just hacked what I just did right now. I hacked and I gave myself the amount of points. I hacked the website thing so it came out, but I couldn't get the email to be submitted to their HR. So I was working on that, but I guess their website is down now, and I can't show how to do that because I was in the process of figuring that out. But so this is kind of like that, right? I don't care where this X goes. I don't care if I don't know where it is. I mean, if some of these, if they're like I said, as long as I get the code to function to certain lines and bypass it, it will function and it'll submit that to HR, and then so if this one had after the congratulations, add your email and HR will be contacting you, and I would add my email and then keep debugging through it, and it submitted, and then it kept, if it didn't and it was like, well, no, wrong, the email didn't come out, then I would have to figure out in the code what do I have to meet, what conditions I have to meet to get the email to come out to get it. So as long, this is how I see it. We're not playing games, okay? We're not playing games. We're not. This is not a quiz in the sense that they want to see if you can solve riddles. That's just stupid. I mean, it's not stupid because the riddles are hard, right? They're hard. People that can solve riddles are smart. But in reality, they want to see if you could hack it. If you know if you have ideas on how to hack it, there's many thousand ways to skin a cat, and they want to know if you can get to an end result that's positive in your favor and not positive in their favor, right? So if I can bypass all this crap, this riddles and crap that they're thinking they're doing by just manipulating the code and then actually getting it to do what I want it to bend at my will, then that's I would say that's a pass to me. In the real world, you don't care about all that stuff. You just want to get yours, and that's it. So hackers are out there getting theirs. They're getting theirs, and they're going. They're not sitting around waiting to see, oh, hey, did you get yours? They're just getting theirs, and they're going, man. And they don't have to explain nothing. And most of the time, they do it by accident. You know what I mean? Just, whoa, hacked into it. Man, that's cool. I just changed some values, and I did this, and all of a sudden, I got a reaction. That's awesome. And they don't even know what they're doing half the time, right? Just like me, I don't know what I'm doing half the time with this. I'm not an expert in website hacking and all this stuff. So and web inspect, and I just barely started. Well, I started doing this about 5 years ago, but I don't do it a lot. I just just when I do it when I can, and so what I'm saying is that I think that's a win. I mean, I got it to get that ultimate congratulations, you found my treasure thing, and so did my friend, but he did it another way, and I did it another way. So, yeah, that was a cool little exercise, and I think there's a lot of these little exercises. You can Google it. I'm gonna go through this um, bug bounty book and see, and I'm sure they have lots of little tests like this that you can try to solve and find clues. And I know hack the file try hack me has tons of ones where you can go through here and find the clues and do a lot of hacking, and you can actually use like burp suite and all that, but I didn't use any of that, because I mean, it takes a while to set up anyway. I mean, I just didn't have the patience. So, but yeah. All right, that was HackTheFile, and I'll see you next time.